Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Taha CSS Preparation Center. I am your CSS mentor, Engineer Arsalan Qadir. In today's session, we are going to discuss Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and peace. It is an important topic in Islamic Studies Paper regarding Central Superior Services Exam and all other competitive exams in Pakistan and for global perspective as well. If we have a cursory look on last 15 years past paper, this topic was questioned 3 times recently in 2017, 2018 and in last year 2022. Islamic Studies CSS paper. First, we have a bird eye view of the content list that we are going to study. Contemporary attempts to denigrate the Holy Prophet ﷺ. In number second, we will study the evil elements have been attempting against the Holy Prophet and Islam. Then analyze the false claim that is made by the propagandists that the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was responsible for violence. And we shall support our argument with historical evidences. Islam spreads due to the character of the last Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. And for strengthen this argument, we present the references of all battles fought by the Holy Prophet ﷺ and the scenario after 1924, the fall of Ottoman rulership or caliphate. Then have a point of view of a Christian scientist come scholar, MICHAL. And at the end, we will conclude our all discussion. Let's start the discussion now. On September 30, 2006, cartoons of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, were published by a Danish newspaper, including one in which the exalted Holy Prophet ﷺ was depicted as wearing a time bomb as his headgear. It was a pathetic attempt to denigrate the Holy Prophet ﷺ and show him just the opposite of what he really was. The thesis, which was sought to be built up by the sketches, which were later published by many Western newspapers and websites, was that if the Holy Prophet of Islam was like this, what would common Muslim be? A total nightmare for the world. Let us here explore the personality of Holy Prophet ﷺ. The rapid expansion of Islam in the 7th century surprised all, particularly Christians and Jews. They tried to block the spread of Islam but ultimately failed. Two tyrant superpowers of the day, Byzantine and Persia, were destroyed by the Islamic tide. This happened during the reign of the second caliph, Hazrat Umar Farooq radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Islam spread to 2/3 of the known world within a short span of time, and Islam ruled for at least the next 7 centuries. When evil elements failed in blocking the Islamic tide, they resorted to dubious means and spread false propaganda, which is continuing till this day. It was claimed that the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was responsible for making Muslims violent by teaching them the concept of jihad, that he spread Islam by the powers of the sword, that through his teachings Muslims became terrorists, that the status of women was reduced to that of a prisoner. It was claimed that it is due to such teachings there is violence in the world, and that Muslims are responsible for all that is evil in the world today. They claim that the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught Muslims to use violence and wage jihad against one, and all is baseless. During his own lifetime, Muslims fought many wars while they were in a disadvantaged position in terms of numbers and arms. They had empty pockets and lacked horses and fighters. Despite such handicap, they came out victorious in all battles. Historical evidence tells us that both Byzantine and Persia indulged in creating towers of human heads after their victories, but the Muslim armies led by the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his lieutenants never adopted such repressive means to celebrate their victories and behaved in a civilized way with the war prisoners as well as the people of the conquered lands. It is certain that the charge of terrorism, violence, and meaningless jihad is baseless. Otherwise, Islamic armies would have been responsible for the genocide of the conquered people in Iraq, Persia, Syria, Palestine, Egypt, and Spain, etc., after their tremendous or thumping victories. They were in a position to enslave people, show disrespect to women, and destroy cities and towns. But history is witness that all Islamic rulers, especially the rightly guided caliphs and a majority of the later rulers such as Muhammad bin Qasim, Tariq ibn Ziyad, and Sultan Salahuddin Ayyubi, had spread love, affection, compensation, and peace after their victories, and this policy was one of the most important factors behind the rapid rise of Islam. Another charge leveled against the followers of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is that they had spread Islam through the power of sword. History stands witness that the Muslim rulers never forced their people to convert to Islam. If Muslim rulers had adopted such questionable means, then after nearly 1000 years of Muslim rule in India, Muslims would not have been in a minority. If such a policy was indeed used, then the slave of the second caliph, Hazrat Umar Farooq radiyallahu anhu, would not have been a Christian till the caliph's death. No one forced him to change his religion. If we go through the history of the battles fought by the Holy Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam during his lifetime, we find that in all these battles only 759 non-Muslims were killed, while 259 Muslims were martyred. This leaves us with a total of 1018 casualties in all those battles. Such a low casualty during the greatest revolution in human history proves that it was a bloodless revolution. We have seen that in the French and Russian revolutions, millions of people lost their lives. In the light of such historical fact, it is hard to accept the tendentious view of some anti-Islam propagandists that the Holy Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam accomplished his mission by the power of sword. An analysis of all the battles fought by the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and Muslims during the last 1000 years will be revealing and surprising. During wars spread over these 1000 years, Muslims did not kill even a fraction of the casualties of European, American, Christians, and Jews wars. During each of the first and second wars alone, around 80 million people were killed, while the injured may be counted in hundreds of millions. When the followers of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, were living in peace and were engaged in spreading knowledge of science and mathematics. Europe was fighting senseless wars spanning over 30 years. Uncounted people were killed during pre and post French Revolution. Millions were killed in Vietnam, Cambodia, Yugoslavia, and Chechnya. About 7.5 million people were killed during the Chinese Civil War. About 5 to 10 lakh people were killed in the Spanish Civil War. About 5 lakh people were killed in the Angolan Civil War. About 2 to 8 lakh people died during the warlord era in China, and in Vietnam War, about 8 lakh to 3.1 million men, women and children were killed. The total number of the injured during these conflicts may be imagined looking at the number of the fatalities. All this was the end result of the wars fought by the Christians, Jews, and communists. Islam or its followers had no hand in these killings. Leaving old history, we see that after the fall of the Ottoman Caliphate in Turkey in 1924, Muslims became weak in all matters, while Christians and Jews registered tremendous growth in power. Communism, which had triumphed after a lot of bloodshedding, finally collapsed in 1990. But Christians and Jews' sway has not stopped the spread of Islam. Reports of electronic and print media and research data suggest that Islam is fast spreading all over the globe. In Europe and America, large numbers of people are embracing Islam. France and UK are not far behind. According to a recent report, Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world. In 1990, 935 million people were Muslims, and this figure rose to around 1.2 billion by 2000 AD, which meant that around 1 in 5 people in the world follow Islam. Although Islam started in Arabia, but by 2002, 80% of the believers in Islam lived outside the Arab world. In the period 1990 to 2000, approximately 12.5 million more people converted to Islam than to Christianity. According to Reader's Digest Almanac Yearbook, Islam grew by 235% in 50 years between 1934 to 1984. According to a report on CNN, the second largest religion in the world after Christianity, Islam is also the fastest growing religion. In the United States of America, nearly 80% of more than 1,200 mosques have been built in the last 12 years. Some scholars see an emerging Muslim renaissance as Islam takes root in many traditional Christian communities. Islam has drawn converts from all walks of life, most notably African American and people of Spanish origin in the United States of America. These developments suggest that teachings of Islam are for all mankind forever, and people are embracing it through their free will, even when Islam is weak and is being attacked. A non-Muslim scholar, Michael Hart, has given befitting reply to those who accuse the Holy Prophet in various ways. He has compiled a list of 100 most respected, powerful, and kind and successful men throughout history. He put the name of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, on top of his list. Hart is no doubt a committed Christian, but his assessment is based upon strict criteria. As a result, he accorded the first place to the Holy Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam in the galaxy of poetical leaders, messengers, scientists, philosophers, thinkers, and reformers of the world. He devoted the opening chapter of his book to the Holy Prophet, underscoring as it does the dominance of the Holy Prophet's position in human history. Another equally significant point is that Hart is a scientist by profession. As a Christian or as a scientist, he should have naturally bestowed this honor upon the Holy Prophet Jesus or Newton. However, rejecting their claim to primacy, he presents Holy Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam as the most influential figure in human history. In his entire book, only two Muslim leaders have figured. One is the Holy Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam, and the other is Hazrat Umar Farooq radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, whom he placed at number 15 in his book. He has also offered us the logic behind placing the Holy Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam, our Holy Prophet Jesus, explaining why he chose the Holy Prophet over the all others. Hart said in his book, "My choice of Muhammad to lead the list of the world's most influential person may surprise some readers and may be questioned by others, but he was the only man in history who was supremely successful on both the religious and secular levels." Hart further writes that we know that the victories of Arabs in 7th century have left a lasting impression and shaped the history of mankind. It is a mixture of religious and worldly effects. It is the main reason due to which the Holy Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam is placed at the top of the list of 100 personalities. Study and analysis indicate that the Holy Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam had brought a message of love and peace for whole of mankind and world for all time to come. The world is facing violence, disturbances, disruptions, and deprivations because people are not following teachings of the Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam and Islam. If the world dreams of a peaceful, hospitable, and affectionate today and tomorrow, then we all must embark upon the path shown by Islam and the Holy Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam.